Right, last night, the UFC's light heavyweight champion of the world got his nemesis signed to the UFC. What am I talking about? I'm talking about Alex Pereira, of course. He got his nemesis signed to the UFC. Do you know what nemesis means?
A righteous infliction of retribution manifested by an appropriate agent, personified in this case by an honourable me.
What am I talking about? Right, look, listen. Alex Pereira fought Artem Vakhitov twice in Glory Kickboxing. Last night, Artem Vakhitov fought in the Dana White Contender Series, okay? I was there, I commentated it. There was a lot of buzz about it because, of course, Vakhitov fought Alex Pereira twice. They went 1-1, and he was the last person to beat Alex Pereira in kickboxing. And not only that, not only did they fight twice, they went 10 rounds, and it was super competitive. Two of the best kickboxing fights that you'll ever see. So if you haven't seen them, I suggest you just go on YouTube and take a look because the fights are phenomenal. And Alex Pereira was incredible, but so was Artem Vakhitov. In the second fight, they took a point of Alex Pereira. Okay, so maybe that played into the fact that, you know, Vakhitov won the fight. I think the fact that they took a point off was nonsense. They shouldn't have done that, but it doesn't matter. That's not what this video is about. Of course, Artem Vakhitov, he wants to replicate the success that Israel Adesanya, coming from Glory, and of course Alex Pereira have done in the UFC, okay? Way, way more money to be made. The UFC is by far the biggest combat sports show out there. Alex Pereira is the belle of the ball. He's the man. You know, he's one of the biggest stars in all of mixed martial arts, and Artem Vakhitov wants a piece of that pie. So he's had 3 MMA fights. He went 2-1. The first fight that he lost was a freak injury early on, like 50 seconds into it. After that, he had 2 fights, and oh my God, he just destroyed the opposition. One fight, all he did was throw 2 leg kicks. The first leg kick had the guy limping. The second leg kick, boom, chopped into the leg, fell on the floor, and that was it. It was done, right? So we know about the striking. As I say, he went 10 rounds with Alex Pereira, and he took some shots, some massive shots, kicks, knees, elbows. The man has got a crazy chin. So there was a lot of excitement about him coming to the Contender Series. And of course, if he wins and gets a contract and does it in stunning fashion in the first round, then maybe down the line, we might see a rematch between Alex Pereira and Artem Vakhitov, one of the best kickboxing fights you'll see in recent memory, but we'll see it in mixed martial arts. And that might be a threat to Alex Pereira, a threat to his title, to his throne, and all the success and the money that he's making right now. So what happened? Well, Artem won. Artem won in the first round via knockout, like everybody thought. But it wasn't the cleanest fight. It wasn't the best performance, if I'm honest. The opponent that he fought was a French dude, okay? You might have seen the knockout that he did. He fought, I think it was in the PFL. Some like nonchalant, big, like overweight dude walks out with his hands down, and his opponent, Islam Makhachev, just poof, head kicked him, 10-second knockout, went viral. You've probably seen it all over Instagram. Okay, this dude knew he was up against a tough fight, right? A tough opponent in Artem Vakhitov. So he went out there swinging like a maniac, right? And guys like that, they're hard to fight. When you're a good striker and you fight a beginner and they're not following the rules or the patterns, if they're not throwing what they're supposed to throw, it's hard to deal with. And especially when the guy's coming forward in just a blaze of aggression, you end up in a clinch. Artem Vakhitov hit the deck a couple of times, but he got up pretty quickly. He stayed in the clinch a little bit too long. When he did have time to separate, he didn't really go to work. He didn't maximize on those opportunities. He allowed his opponent to then get into the clinch again and stuff like that. And it was a little bit underwhelming for what we expected. But nonetheless, he did get the finish. Once he found the rhythm a little bit, once he landed a couple of big shots, that was it. The guy goes down and the fight was all over. So if you ask me, without a shadow of a doubt, the man should have got a contract. And that he did. But I don't know if Dana was necessarily blown away because it wasn't the cleanest, the most clinical, most precise knockout that we've seen. It just wasn't, you know. He got it done, but it was kind of just like a wild blaze of aggression, and he caught him after hitting the canvas a few times. But against an opponent that had only had 3 MMA fights as well. But Alex Pereira goes backstage and speaks to Dana White. And Dana White says to him, what do you think? Do you think this guy deserves a shot? And Pereira says, of course, give the man a shot, give the man a break, give him a go in the UFC.
Alex said you absolutely, positively deserve a shot in the UFC. So Thank you, Alex Pereira. And get over here, Artem.
And that, to me, is unbelievable. That speaks volumes about Alex Pereira, about the type of man that he is. You know, we know inside the octagon, the man's a killer, okay? He's one of the best strikers that we've seen, and he's doing incredible things. That performance last weekend, again, against Khalil Roundtree, just mind-blowing stuff. Even though he lost the first 2 rounds, he was in control most of the time. And then the finish and the display of violence and the precision and the accuracy and all the rest of it, beautiful, beautiful. But the fact that Dana asked him, hey, this guy, who's the last person to beat you, that might get kind of fast-tracked a little bit, that might possibly get decent, favorable matchups to meet you because there's a big storyline, and he was the last person to beat you, and if he stands and trades with you and plays you at your own game, he might take the title off you. Pereira could have said, well, it wasn't that good, was it really? I expected more. He could have played down the performance, but no, he said he absolutely deserves a shot. Give him a shot. And I'm telling you, right, that not only speaks about the type of man that he is, but it also speaks about the kind of competitor that he is, because clearly the fact that he beat him pisses him off. It irks him. He wants to get that one back. These guys are 1-on-1. The trilogy in the UFC for a title, that would be amazing. But of course, we're getting ahead of ourselves because that's a long way off. It is a long, long road for Artem Vakhitov. I think he could do it. I think he's got the potential. He's got to work on the takedown defense. He's got to get used to the little gloves. He's got to get used to like people with offbeat rhythms, because the MMA strikers are a little bit different to polished kickboxers. But if he can do that, if he can do the work and then apply himself, I think he could have a very, very bright future. And we could see that fight at some point down the line. Vakhitov, when you speak to him, this is all he does. He lives and breathes combat sports. That is it. It is all he's interested in. He's a 100% full-time professional fighter and absolutely obsessed with it. So I, for one, I'm excited to see Artem Vakhitov in the UFC. It's going to be interesting to see who they match him up with first. But as I say, if he goes on, let's say a 4 or 5 fight streak where he goes out and he knocks people out, then of course there's a big fight on our hands. And I'm sure Alex Pereira the whole time is going to be willing him on because he wants to get it back. He wants to make money, right? The man's even calling out Tom Aspinall. Did you see that? He was posting as he was walking to Madison Square Garden and Tom Aspinall was kind of in the background. You know, there's no fear in that man. No man alive has had a set of balls like Alex Pereira. And I absolutely love it. By the way, speaking of no man alive, I should have the T-shirt on, but I was doing the Contender series last night. Just finished my workout and I've got fighting meetings for commentary this weekend. But the No Man Alive merch, it will be on sale. I think tomorrow. I should tell the website. It's nomanalive.com or no_manalive.com. I'm an idiot. I should know that off the top of my head. But right now, I don't. But got to say one more time, congrats to Artem Vakhitov. But also, congrats to Alex Pereira, because that's the kind of competitive spirit that you want to see. And that's the kind of behavior that you want to see from a fellow human. Anyway, that's it. I got to go. My breakfast is ready. I got fighting meetings in just a minute. You guys take care. Subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you soon.